Yo, call me Sonic Rumble the way the bag I might have fumbled. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Games Case today. And only today, we are here to talk about the Sonic Rumble situation. But of course, before we get into all that, make sure to subscribe to your boy, support the content, and get us up to 200 members on YouTube. Y'all are rising up the ranks. We're almost at 70k subscribers, so thank you for all the love this year, and thank you for all the love regardless. I know it's been a bit of a slow start of the year, but the video's been doing well, and Switch 2 is coming up, so hopefully I get to cover some cool Switch 2 stuff with y'all. Hopefully y'all will enjoy that, and we're gonna get into some good times this summer. Games Fest coming up, Crossroads and all that stuff. So for people that don't know what happened with Sonic Rumble is so the game was actually set to release on May 8th. So the whole history of Sonic Rumble is weird. It was announced about a year and a half ago now, I want to say about a year-ish. For a while, it was originally set to come out winter 2025. That's always like a speculative term where people don't know whether that's going to be like holiday or early in the year after because of how Japan is. The game's gone through several betas. It's funny. It's kind of crazy because I literally was sent to Japan in like September last year to go play Sonic Rumble. Like they are definitely that's the thing a lot of people don't really understand that I want to try to explain is they're investing a lot into this game, and they sent us there to the team. They're talking about all the events they want to do in the games, how they really plan to support it, that they care about it, they want the game to live a long life. I think what bothers people before we get to the delay talk is this game has basically been out in other regions. I think some places in South America, they ended up rolling the game out in Canada, and it's out in a few regions basically, and they've been rolling out these pre-seasons of content. So if you go on their Twitter, it's right now we're on pre-season 4 or something crazy like that. So they've been rolling out content for the game. It's effectively the game is out in other regions besides, NA, or most of NA, where a lot of people would actually be interested in playing it, specifically the US, and obviously a bunch of other regions. So anyways, come forth March, April, the game is still getting content, changes, updates, and all that stuff. And they announced that, boom, the ready release date happening May 8th of 2025, right? And literally about 10 days before that release date, they put out a statement on their Twitter saying, "Thank you for the incredible support. We've surpassed 1.4 million pre-registrations," which honestly is way bigger than I thought. "A milestone that speaks volumes about your passion for Sonic Rumble. With the level of excitement, we feel an even greater responsibility to deliver an experience worthy of your time. We're also very proud of the amazing positive response Sonic Rumble has already received, with App Store ratings averaging 4.8. As we prepare for the update 1.2, we will introduce a major feature like crews, Rumble rankings, and skills. These changes will fundamentally reshape the game, and one thing has become clear: we want to create a game that evolves and stays fun for months and years to come. To build the kind of high-quality and long-lasting Sonic game our players deserve, we need more time. And as a result, we made the difficult decision to postpone the global launch. We know this news may be disappointing, and it wasn't a decision we made lightly. We believe taking the extra time is the right choice for the future of Sonic Rumble. We don't have a release date to share yet, but as soon as we get closer, we'll update you through our social media and community channels. We love and support. It means the world to us. We are truly grateful to the Rumble team." So obviously, this gets announced, and as someone who uses Twitter a lot and the internet, people were not happy. I mean, this, brought up a bunch of quote retweets being like, "What's going on with this game? How could you delay it a week beforehand? What's going on? There's no way this game is getting rumbled. I'm losing interest." It got pretty bad. It's weird. It's almost like they've put themselves in this odd position where there's a lot to this topic that I want to get into. Let's talk about the first aspect. Is I think a lot of people think this game is just Fall Guys, right? Which, that's understandable. I get it. You know what I mean? It is a Fall Guys Sonic game effectively. But I think this dev team really wants this game to be more than that, right? Originally it was just going to be a mobile game, and now they have it announced for PC. But it's a lot more than Fall Guys, because if you guys remember, Fall Guys has zero stats involved, right? Has zero skills, or obviously you can be skilled at the game, but it's effectively just you go in a party match, you get in, you do your thing, you leave, you get your rewards, right? Whereas they just in Sonic Rumble introduced this skill feature, and these skills are game changers. They're effectively moves that can allow you to attack an enemy and get their rings, because the whole point of Sonic Rumble is once you go through the 3 rounds, it's not about did you get first place and knock out everybody. It's, do you have the most rings? You're effectively in at least the main mode, Ring Survivor. There's other modes. There's like Hyper Boost mode where like you go super fast. There's like squads that you can do, boss fights. Like they have multiple modes in there, but that's gonna be a big change because the idea of the skills is there are skills that can help your movement to make you go faster through a level, right? Or, you know, rush forward to get rings, or moves that can attack other players. And it seems like from what they're saying that this was a late addition, and because they need to balance the game and want to balance it, that seems to be the big pushing point. Now, there was clearly a misjudgment internally. You know, these people test these games a bunch, right? And it's pretty clear there was some misunderstanding internally, just maybe how unbalanced these skills were, right? Because I'm like, how could you, a week before the game was out, delay it? You know, like you had to have you should have known really how these skills were balanced. But I think the problem is because they're rolling out the updates as they go, and the game, even when I played, it still has moments where like the game crashes, errors happen. Like it's clearly like still baking a little bit. Now granted, maybe the full launch would have fixed a lot of those issues with the big final patch, but regardless, something clearly went wrong. Now, there's a lot of angles we can take with the conversation. I guess we could start with the fact that like I feel like this game needs to head to console, right? Because it's already taken the step to be on PC. You're at the point where I feel like the game is way better off with a controller. Like I've been playing it on PC, and you know, you have your skill button for your attacks, your other skill button, you have your jumps, you know, you have all your different moves, and it feels good with a controller. And it just feels like that now that you're introducing like the concept of skills and a more engaged gameplay style, it feels like you're trying to target consoles. I feel like this game would be an easy win for Switch 2. You know, like if that game was on Switch 2 at the very least, right, then I think that'd be a huge W. You know, I don't even know if this game would thrive too much on like PlayStation or Xbox. It'd be nice to be there, but I feel like bare minimum, the game should be working towards a Switch version. If I was them, if I was at that studio, I'd tell like, hey, you guys need to get a Switch version of this game working ASAP, because I think it would be a really good success there. It's something else people don't talk about, or they do talk about, but they don't understand what they're saying. Is a lot of people are like, people are gonna lose interest, this game is gonna flop. I'm like, I don't think y'all get it. This game is a mobile game, right? The thing about mobile games is, and I explain this to people, mobile games don't exist until they are on the App Store. You know, there's obviously games people can market to release on phones that are successful, but a lot of these games are successful because they're on the front page of the App Store. And so I have no doubt Sonic Rumble is going to be the same way. Like, you know, once the game is officially out, it's going to have a big front page thing on the App Store. A shit ton of people are going to download it. It's going to be one of the top games. It's going to be available for kids. A lot of older people are going to want to play it, the fans, everything. I mean, guys, people forget Sonic is huge on mobile, bro. Sonic is a franchise, has netted over like 250 million plus downloads on mobile games alone. People really, you know, have a lot of love for Sonic on mobile. In fact, there's a lot of people for the longest time that thought Sonic, like, honestly, a lot of what carried Sonic through like a lot of the dark times in the 2010s was like games like Sonic Dash and stuff that like just did super well on mobile and weren't anywhere else, you know. And so that's how the name was able to continue there. So I think that's something people don't talk about enough, is that like, yeah, when people are like, oh, the game's gonna flop, I'm like, that's just the internet talking. Of course it sucks for the hardcore fans that care that the game is taking so long to come out, but the game is not gonna flop because it's, you know, release date is being pushed back. Now, however, I will say, like, it does suck. Like, you know, if you're a big fan of this series, like you and me, you're excited to play this. It's frustrating to see all these other regions being able to play it and you're not able to play it, especially because it's weird, right? Like, you would think it's a weird, like, a thing. You would think that because it's like a battle royale or like a big multiplayer game that like they'd be okay with just releasing it and just putting updates over time. But it seems like they're almost like hell bent into perfection, which like that could be for better or worse. I mean, dude, I'm not even exaggerating when I say every time I play that game, I feel like I'm introduced to a new map. Like, they have a shit ton of maps. They have City Escape, they have Green Hill, they have Starlight Carnival, they have Sweet Mountain, they have Sky Sanctuary in there, they have a bunch of Lost World levels in there, they have a bunch, they just have there's a chemical plant in there, there's like a million different levels in the game, and they all have a bunch of, you know, different variations. There's even, you know, some casino levels in there, there's Eggman battles. Feels like they just keep adding content to the game, right? Which again is a good thing, right? You think of the amount of content and characters, and I mean, they just announced a season that they're doing of Sonic and the Black Knight stuff. You could be, you know, Blaze, you can get the Shadow version, you can get the Knuckles variants, right? There's a made Blaze in there, there's the baseball skins of Sonic and Amy that they have in there. They have like the beta fits for Sonic Riders. Like if you look at just a shit ton of all these costumes, it's crazy. There's different chow you can get, you know. Now you can level up your characters that you get, and they can get upgraded abilities and stats. And again, even the skills that they just introduced, you can upgrade the skills, so the skills you get can be enhanced. Like there is so much to the game that, like I said, it's almost a detriment to keep this game just on mobile and PC. I feel like at this point you're creating what is a big skill-based multiplayer game, for better or worse, right? Originally, when I first played that beta, like what was it, like a year ago when it first dropped, it was like, you could tell it was a beta, you know. It was a little bit rougher on the edges, you know, the game was a little slower, but they've sped up the game too. Like it's very clear that they keep learning, adapting, and they keep adding stuff to the game. But it's like, at what point is it like, yo, enough is enough? In a sense of like, we got to get the game out. You know, we don't even have a new release date for the game, and I assume it'll be like around the summer, maybe like a June, July. I think now they're a little scared to announce a release date without being certain. But people have been playing this game, and people that play it really enjoy it, right? Like I said, this game has been available in a lot of regions for months now. You know, I've had this game for God knows how long, you know, like maybe 8 months plus. The game has been like chilling on my phone. Only recently I got the PC version because they started rolling that out to the creators. And it's cool what they're doing with creators, where they're giving them pages and stuff. Obviously, you know, there could be some bias there, of course, but you know, I always got to disclaim that for you. But you guys know how I am. You know, I can admit like what they're doing is bad in a PR sense. It's never good to have something delayed a week before it happens, you know, because you're just like, dude, we were like right there, you know. And it's frustrating to see other people play. I get upset because I'm like, well, I want to play with all my viewers, you know, but I can't. I can play with some of my viewers, you know, in Canada and other regions, but like I'd like to play with everybody, right? So they definitely have that issue in terms of the fan base versus what's gonna happen. But they even just had a whole Sega collab where they had they had Altered Beast in there, they had like a bunch of Sega things, and I think they're saving the major ones for launch. But that's another concern, is like, are these collabs and season stuff, are they gonna roll back once the game is out? Like, are they gonna be rerun in the game when the game is out? Is it going to be that like they're just gone and you're gonna have to wait forever to get them? I don't know. You know, I'd say like another flaw I have with the game is like there's a lot of menus. It's like there's your gift menu, and then there's the season pass menu, and then there's the menu of your characters and where your characters level up, and you have your battle pass and the seasonal battle pass, and you know, there's things where you can just claim out. It's like there's definitely a lot of clutter and noise in the game that I wish I could, you know, diminish a little bit. But I know that's par for the course for a lot of mobile games. I mean, you open any mobile game that's like a year into its life and you're gonna be like attacked by 50 different currencies. So it feels like they're mitigating things a little bit. They're trying to introduce things like tails wrenches that like make it so that it's easier to unlock stuff. They've made even the unlocking process a little smoother. Like, I've seen this game evolve in real time, and I think it's also, this is Sonic Rumble, right? This isn't like the next mainline Sonic game, right? This is like a mobile game, a multiplayer mobile game that's is very fast paced, is very fun. It's just a mobile game that's a fun party game too. Like, they could release it and get, you know, the entire community's feedback on stuff, but maybe there's a lot more to it that I don't understand as a player. You know, I'm sure they, like, it's one of those things of I can commend them in a sense that like, okay, you clearly care about this. Otherwise, you could have made this a worldwide release 6 months ago and, you know, had the game not have as much content and, you know, have errors and stuff. But like, it's like, now you look at it, they have the introduction of stuff like, you know, ranking mode. They have stuff like crews where you can like join someone's crew. They have the skills. Like, they clearly are investing in something. Like, this is something that they want to clearly have as a project that lasts for years. And so I have no doubt in my mind that like this Sonic Rumble game can last if they really invest in it. But what I'm trying to say and explain is like, the stuff they're doing with this game feels like you gotta have this game on a console. You know, it feels like this is beyond just like a simple mobile game now, you know, like now that you're introducing skills and you have a lot of cool stuff that people really want. You clearly are doing so much with this game, but at some point you gotta let it go. In a sense, you gotta be like, let's just give this to the people and let's grow together. And technically they have. I mean, I get kind of shocked, because they said in that apology statement that they got 1.4 million pre-registrations. Clearly people are interested in the game. So people saying that there's no interest and all that, they're just kind of, it's not that I get where you're coming from in the frustration sense, but you got to understand that there's a point where it's like, do you know what you're talking about? You know what I mean? So it's like, it's weird. So I feel like they just have to work a little harder to get this thing out sooner than later, because it's frustrating for a lot of people. But even as a player, like I said, my feedback on the game is I think it's extremely fun now, right? It's cool to jump in and constantly feel like they're doing something new. Like it feels like there's something new happening all the time in the game. It feels like there's always a new map. It feels like levels and stuff are engaging. I still feel like the double jump is a little frustrating, or like the jump when you're in 2D sections can be a little wonky, but it feels like they've upped the speed. The how fast 3 rounds go by is great. The challenges are fun. Like it feels like they're definitely cooking something that could be special here, and I'm happy it's on PC. To me, that's the number one thing. We'll see what happens, but I at least wanted to talk about it because it's been something that's been, going around. I've seen a lot of people very frustrated at seeing, all these like skins and cool things. Like they added II to the game, which is crazy, right? You have all these cool stickers, you have all these cool chow, and all these events that they promote on there. But yeah, it is frustrating that not everybody gets to be part of the fun, but hopefully soon. Like I said, I feel like they're gonna eye a June, July birthday, so a birthday or release date worldwide at the very least. So guys, let me know what you guys think of the Sonic Rumble situation. Are you excited for the game? Are you kind of tired of waiting? Like, what's your opinion on it? Do you even care? I know obviously it's a mobile game, so some people don't care, but let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below about this situation. And of course, I love you, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.